Good afternoon and namaskar. I, Swapan Dehrewan, will be interviewing today Umesh Kapoor on behalf of Foundation for India Studies Houston for the Indo-American Oral History Project being done in partnership with the Houston Public Library and Houston Community College. Namaskar Umesh ji.
Namaskar Swapan ji.
Welcome to the studio. Umesh, can you just tell us about where did you come in from, where did you live prior to coming to the United States, and what age it was that you came down over here?
Before coming to the US, I lived in Chandigarh,
Okay.
in Punjab. I came to the US at the age of 24.
Oh, very early. As a student, basically.
Not as a student.
Oh, you had completed your graduation or something?
Yes. I finished my bachelor's in electronics engineering
Okay.
from Regional College of Education and Technology.
REC.
Yes.
Okay.
And but that program was done with the collaboration of NCERT,
Oh.
National Council of Education Research and Training, and Ohio State University.
Oh.
It was a new project. I was the first batch for that reason. So the college is in Ajmer, Rajasthan.
Okay.
So it was like a 2 days train ride from me, from Punjab, Hoshiarpur, that's not part of Punjab.
Okay. From there to Ajmer.
Ajmer, come to Delhi,
Uh-huh.
then overnight train to Ajmer. There was narrow gauge train that time.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
So that was from 63 to 67.
And you were the eldest son or something in the family, or how was your big family back home?
Yes. Number 2, I have elder sister,
Okay.
one younger brother,
Okay.
then 4 more daughters.
Oh, okay.
7 in the family.
Wow. Okay. So basically, what made you come down to United States, and did you come directly to Houston or somewhere else?
Okay. After my graduation,
Mm-hmm.
first professional job in 67, 68,
Mm-hmm.
I got at Physical Research Lab, Ahmedabad.
Okay.
That is one of the pioneer research institution at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And now all the space was done in India. ISRO, ESCAS, Space Research in Trivandrum.
Okay.
All those scientists, they were young PhD postdoctors from that time.
Oh, okay.
So I worked with them with the researchers.
Like Homi Baba or something?
Homi Baba was not, it was
Wasn't it?
Vikram Sarabhai,
Vikram Sarabhai was there. ISRO.
He started.
ISRO. Yeah.
and his wife used to come there,
Okay.
Milani Marla.
Milani. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
famous dancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his son got married also in 68, 69.
Uh-huh.
So went to his wedding also in Ahmedabad.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
So that is my connection.
Okay.
So, but at that time, in the Times of India, Indian newspapers, US consulate will put a big ad.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Vietnam War era.
Mm-hmm.
People with this qualification
Mm-hmm.
applied for immigration to the
To
US.
the US. Okay. Okay.
So that was, so I saw it, many of my friends were migrating
Uh-huh.
and they were
Okay.
finishing the PhD or just
Graduating or masters.
And many of those are in Houston also.
Oh, okay.
They came in 69, 70, then to the school here,
Okay.
some went to Brazil.
Okay.
So there's a funny story related to that also.
Uh-huh.
So friends were coming to USA and I was also, I resigned, I said I'm leaving also.
Okay.
But they're practical you to work with us in the department. They
Exactly.
said, Umesh, you are going to States, I heard. It was Radhika.
Yeah.
I want to come with you.
Okay.
How about that? No, I said, I'm going to Punjab State now. I'm not going to States at this time
Okay.
because I wanted to come, but my parents told me, oh, Umesh, you get married,
Okay.
then you can go.
Oh.
If you are a young man, 24, 25,
Mm-hmm.
no, at that time I was 23, 22,
Okay.
23.
Okay. Okay.
So if you leave, then you will never come back.
Okay.
So,
So then you came back over there, got married.
no,
No.
then I got it. There was an opening there at the Defense Research and Development Lab in Chandigarh.
Okay.
And the director of the lab was a friend of mine, my father's friend.
Okay.
Because my father was a principal of government college
Okay.
and State Institute of Education in Solar, Himachal.
Okay.
And the director's brother was the principal of college.
Of that part.
No, not of that college. My father was part of college education.
Okay, education.
Teachers training college.
Okay.
And director's brother was the principal, government college of Solon, Himachal Pradesh.
Oh, okay, okay.
So he told my dad that the
Yeah.
openings there, my brother listed and sending that.
Okay.
So I got a job with
Uh-huh.
Defense R&D.
Okay,
And we got married in 17.
okay, okay, okay,
And
okay.
then my wife Mira got pregnant.
Okay,
So my parents said, okay, now you cannot leave.
yeah, you're
When the baby comes. Our older son was born on May 6th,
Yeah,
1971,
71, yeah.
Bali Beach.
Okay, okay.
And so I left India when they said, okay, now you can go.
Uh-huh.
It was I had to extend my visa immigration
standby.
for several times.
Yes, yes.
So that was last month or week to
To leave.
leave,
To come over
otherwise
here.
it will be cancelled.
Expired, yeah.
Expired, yeah. So I left around June, maybe first week of June,
Uh-huh.
because Bobby was born before our first anniversary.
Wow, okay.
That's the life story.
So then he was just a month old and you came down?
Not even a month old,
Not even a month
21 days, so
Yeah.
you can leave. Me and the family came to Delhi to see me often.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I came.
And then you landed to New York?
I landed to New York.
Uh-huh.
Yes. On the way, I stopped for a day, 2 days in London. We have
Uh-huh.
family friends there.
Okay, okay.
So at that time, I flew a Syrian airline.
Uh-huh.
That was cheapest ticket, Syrian and Air France.
Oh, okay.
So Syrian airline from New Delhi will go to Rome
Uh-huh.
somewhere, then Damascus, then the Lebanon,
Wow.
Beirut,
Uh-huh.
then come to London.
Wow.
I stayed there 2 days, then see, okay, I want to see more.
Uh-huh.
So went to Paris.
Okay. So that
American Airlines.
Yeah.
I think Air France.
Okay.
Then from Air France, I took the flight to New York.
So how was it being first time traveler right from India? What were your feelings? What was that shock that you were getting, or was it a pleasant surprise or experience? What were your feelings first day that you landed on the shores?
Okay, first I landed in New York.
Mm-hmm.
You get amazed. In 70s, it's a huge, huge airport. You see 3-story high escalators.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Young man, you have just suitcase, you don't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But in my case, a friend was my colleague in Chandigarh research lab. He came to the US about 6 months ago.
Mm.
So he came to receive me at the airport at JFK.
Okay, okay,
So,
okay. And then you lived with him, and then you started your job or something over there, or education over there?
no.
Okay.
So we used to share a basement apartment in Corona, New York. It's
Okay.
near Flushing, Hospital,
Okay.
Flushing. There was a veterinary doctor from Patna.
Okay.
He, my friend Shri Chandra Gupta,
Mm-hmm.
mechanical engineer at that time, but now is a very successful businessman.
Okay.
So they told me what to do. You go to there were so many employment agencies in Houston.
Yeah.
So you pay $25, they give you a reference card. You take that card, you get a job.
Oh.
So I landed there. Next day I went to in Manhattan, to the subway, went to Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave me a card. You go to this place. The company was Russ Ducks. They was clothing manufacturer and seller, big company
Okay.
along Holland Expressway.
Okay.
So went there, they gave me, okay, you get $2.25 an hour job.
That was minimum wage.
Yeah, minimum was 175 something.
Okay.
You had to pick up the order slip, you can read it, pick up that order number,
Okay.
and line it up, put in the boxes.
Okay.
It's a conveyor belt system.
Okay.
Worked there 1 or 2 weeks. But I wanted to do a technical job because it is
Your qualifications were different.
different.
Yes.
So kept on looking. Then I got a job as an electronics technician
Mm-hmm.
in the White Plains, New York.
Okay.
But to go to that job, you have to take a bus. No, first I have to take a train.
Okay.
Then take a bus, then walk about a quarter mile.
Wow.
But that job was paying $125 a week.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And $25 will go for our rent for the apartment.
Yeah.
$25 for food a week.
Uh-huh.
$50 saving.
Yeah. What was yours? Exactly. Okay.
So after I worked there for 4 or 5 months, then Meera she was waiting to come.
Yes, exactly.
And in January 72, Meera and Bobby arrived. And she still tells me that I landed in America, I had to change 3 buses, it was snow there, why we did not have a taxi?
She still complains about it till today.
I said, you can drive a Mercedes, rent a plane.
Yeah, exactly.
So they came, and by the time they were sharing a house in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
she arrives, and that was the start of life.
Wow.
It was 72,
And then what made you make the decision to come down to Houston?
okay.
And how did that happen?
I,
It was immediate?
no, not immediately, no.
Okay.
It was 72, then see, I selected to go to graduate school.
Okay.
So, Nina wanted to go to school also. She went to City College of New York,
Mm.
enhanced her education in computer science and
Yes.
electrical, but she did most of the computer science courses.
Yes.
So I wanted to go to a school where we had some assistance for scholarship, plus work, go to school in the evening.
Yeah.
So, like NYU and Columbia programs, they were like a full-time graduate student. They will do some assistance, but I went to call, at that time it's called Brooklyn Polytechnic. Now it's called Polytechnic of New York.
Okay.
Now it's part of NYU system. So I got admission there and studied for 73 to 75 I graduated with a master's in management systems and
MIS.
MIS. And
Okay. Okay.
so once I graduated, I'm looking for the opportunities. 75, that it was very tough in New York to find a job.
Yeah.
With them were lots of acting coming, lots of unrest all around. A friend of mine from India, he just finished his PhD from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. When President Carter went to that school, in upstate New York, Troy.
Okay.
So we used to visit him,
Okay.
Dr. Alec. So he got a job in Houston, University of Houston faculty member.
Okay.
So Umesh to come over to large, Houston is growing in 70s,
Okay.
large opportunities. So I came here, picked him up at the airport, went to the university with him in the office, saw some jobs posted.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so went to the department, talked to the director that this is my qualification, this resume, and you see when you can start.
Okay.
We have a place there. So he gave me an appointment letter, with all the conditions. It's a state employment, so they have to. He interviewed me, then his boss, the assistant vice president interviewed me, and okay.
Okay.
So went back to New York, resigned my position, gave them 2 weeks notice, arranged a mover. At that time, being a state institution, you have to move at your own expense.
Yes. Okay.
So
No, out of pocket.
out of pocket expense.
Yeah.
But only thing they do when you start it, they add extra money to your salary that they keep you get every year.
That's
In every paycheck.
That's nice.
Yeah, you have this starting point
Uh-huh.
in the budget, but we can give you
Yeah.
a couple of $100 more. And
Exactly. So basically, how was it feeling the conditions when there was a cultural thing, there was some language barriers? How was you feeling from living in Brooklyn or living in coming down in Houston at that point of time?
okay, I did not feel like much difference
Okay.
because my wife was with me, the baby was there,
You
and
had some friends over
we had
here.
some friends here. Because first we lived in Houston on Fondren and Beach Neck,
Okay.
Villa Cordova, where our 2 other friends were living in the same apartment complex.
Okay.
Nice place to live, about 18, 19 miles from the campus.
Okay.
Houston was not that big, 59 was not raised. High.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. It's almost end of the city, Charlestown Mall.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
So there were no elevated
No,
rooms.
no.
Everything was okay
Yeah,
on ground
on
level.
the ground level. So I didn't feel any difficulty
Okay.
because only thing is we arrived here and our son Bobby was 70, he was about 5 years old, and I used to take him with me to the University of Houston, where we have a daycare on campus, still have it, and 2 schools for children. One is experimental school, part of the Home Economics Department, Human Development,
Okay.
the other school on campus. So one evening we were coming, we had an accident. Our car got rolled over.
Okay. Wow.
70, February 77.
So you must be about seven,
Yeah.
6 years.
No, 5 something, yeah, 5, 6 years old. And my car got turned over, got stuck in the railings of 610 loop. Did not fall down. It was multi-car accident.
So what happened? Did 911, everything
They
emergency?
came, the ambulance came, and
First you got immediate attention and everything like that?
and since then my right knee got injured. That's the reason.
Yeah, you have a little,
Yes.
okay, okay.
So that was. So,
Okay.
but
That was the point of
that
it.
was the point.
Oh, okay.
Because they had pulled me out. My right knee was stuck under the steering post.
Oh, okay.
So, so that is the 70s. After that, life is dropping.
Okay.
Meera was active. She got a job with Whitney Bose.
Yeah.
In New York, she was working at a very good job.
Yeah.
So that on University of Houston campus, they had a program for women engineers.
Seminar, yeah, she attended one.
She attended, and she had 4 or 5 job offers.
Yeah, yeah. Those were the days. Now they could pick it. You could pick it.
Yeah. So she decided to stay in Houston, start with AT&T. So,
Yeah, that's great. Can you tell me, apart from that, what other communities did you get involved with apart from your job at that point of time? How did it grow in the last 40 years that you have seen?
okay, our the community interaction was with the Hindu temple, Hindu Worship Society we just established.
Oh, that was the first temple in Houston,
Yeah.
way on the Bird Road,
Yeah.
is it not?
Yes.
Okay. so-
Not on the Burt Road.
Okay, it
We
was on
used
the
to
Bird
be,
Road.
have an old built like apartment building on the York Street, New York
Okay.
Street.
Okay,
And there we used to meet,
okay,
and many of the old timers, Lal Sardana, he's no longer here.
okay.
So I started working with the newsletter. I was editor for the first newsletter
Okay.
that goes back way up 40
Wow.
plus years ago.
And those used to be printed
Printed and printing staples, and we are used to put the labels on, we put in the mail.
and put it in the mail. Okay.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
so that was involvement.
Mm-hmm.
Old timer like P.C. Sharma is still there, Raj Syal there,
Salsa, yeah.
Syal Sab is there, Lal Sardana passed away.
Yeah.
So those are the days.
Okay.
So from there we knew more people got involved in the community.
Okay.
So
So basically, you started with the religious thing, and eventually you moved towards some cultural and then some social causes and everything like that. I know that you are involved with Seva as well, quite much.
yeah,
So Seva projects are all across the country and across the world as well.
yes.
So I think so you are doing one particular area of that. Can you just?
Okay, in the Seva, now I'm retired from the university.
Okay.
I spent lots of time even before coming I sent several emails.
Mm-hmm.
I'm involved with family services part of Seva.
Okay.
That we do monthly educational workshops,
Mm-hmm.
find an expert in the field in the community,
Mm-hmm.
have a presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And last Saturday we had on grief and depression with Dr. Kiran Bhatia.
Oh, okay.
And in June we had in the college preparation. And on August 17th we are doing a college application process, how to get a financial aid. They are very popular topics.
Yeah, I know. Very good one.
And
this is-
family relations.
This is also towards empowering the new immigrants as well, right? You're involved with the family services is involved with the refugee program as well, something like that. Is
Okay,
it?
that program we do at the 2 apartment complexes in town,
Okay.
on Formula South Coast and then the next to that.
Okay. On Hillcroft, yeah.
Yes, and there we have, in one we have 2-bedroom apartment. We have computer classes. We have sewing machines there,
Mm-hmm.
after school tutoring.
Mm-hmm.
And those programs are very well recognized in the city. We got the funding from the city, we got funding from state fund.
Okay.
But that project is somebody else's for educational group of Seva is responsible.
Okay.
So, but I do the mentorship at the Elite School District.
Oh, okay.
So I go to different meetings and whenever they got a plan, introduce the new mentors.
What do you find in the current generation, since you said that you are mentoring in the school district and LF being one of the most diverse kind of communities, you have a lot of ethnic groups over there. What do you get to see out over there? Some couple of experience, or do you want to share something with us if you want to?
Okay, in elite school, it is very, very diverse and they have a large refugee population from Afghanistan, Iraq, Burma, Bhutan, African countries, and how to link those students for education purpose, basic education, culture, hygiene, and they grown up.
Yes.
Some are even 18, 20, 21 years old, but still in the at level of 9th or 10th grade.
Yes. So it's a difficult
It's a
task.
difficult task. Even this morning we had a meeting there, I didn't go, but I couldn't hardly remember which the volunteers they were there. So we're planning for the next school year. So.
I know there is in your family there is quite openness, and you do have interracial marriages, and you do have a big family also. So can you just highlight a little bit more about that?
Okay. In my family, I mean our family,
Yeah.
we have two sons who we respect interracial marriages.
Mm-hmm.
They are happy,
Mm-hmm.
and our grandkids, they call us their Hindu Christian. They can recite Gayatri mantras,
Very
but they after that say Amen. Om Shanti, Amen.
Okay.
So they celebrate Diwali like we do it,
Yeah.
but Christmas time they all are excited for gifts.
Yeah. Okay.
And the daughter-in-laws,
And they dress up ethnically
They dress
as
up,
well, the
yeah.
grandsons.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of
and their moms also dress up, saris and also.
Okay.
But they have two marriages, one Hindu marriage, then Christian marriage, church marriage, so white dress and traditional.
Okay. Okay.
But it is due to education, I should say. Because our sons met them in college,
Mm-hmm.
so they're already well qualified. Their partners are well qualified.
Yeah.
So they know issue of because their service world is one.
Yes.
So
Umesh, did you want to share something from your memoirs, something from New York, or something else that you want to share with our viewers?
yes, I just want to share a couple of things. In New York, I was working for ESCO Electronics.
Okay.
This is the picture of World Trade Center Tower 1 and 2. On the top of the tower, you see antennas.
Yeah.
My job at that time to go to the 110th floor, then walk one flight up with a set of heavy equipment, our test equipment,
Okay.
to check the transmission strength, power, the right frequency for FCC,
Okay.
align it if there's some tuning, not alignment, they were already set there.
Okay.
So that was, I used to go. And then I used to admire the skyline of New York.
Wow.
Guy from a small place in Hoshiarpur, India,
Mm-hmm.
from Punjab,
Yeah.
sitting on the top of the world,
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty.
Just across Statue of Liberty.
Just Statue of Liberty is there,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole New York skyline.
What a feeling.
But it was a great feeling that time.
Yes.
Now I realize that both buildings are not there, but I have a connection.
Yes.
And here is also I have my ID card, sorry, going back to 1974. I have 24-hour access issued by the owner of the building, World Trade Center.
Wow.
And on the back is my
Picture.
picture of,
You look so young.
it goes 42 years ago. So,
Yeah, I know. Very good, Umesh.
so that is my memory.
Wow.
So,
So basically, that's really nice. Anything else you want to share with us about apart from your social activities, some interest or hobbies or something that you do regularly on a regular basis? I think so. you are involved much with yoga or something?
Okay, I've been born in a family of yogas, yogis are yoga, my wife Meera and me.
Okay.
So my father passed away in 2012 at the 95 plus,
Yes.
and he been teaching yoga from his college days. And all his estate he left for yoga is in crores of rupees.
Yes.
He said, spread all that money for trust for yoga.
Very good.
So then my kids don't need it.
Yeah.
So we are the trustee
For that
For the trust.
foundation.
foundation, and but money goes for spread publication.
Yeah.
And his Guruji is our family Guruji, Sri Prabhu Ramlal Ji, and he established Yoga Sadhana ashrams in Amritsar, Lahore in 1930.
In 1930.
Monthly.
13.
1913,
Wow.
and he's no longer there, but we have branches all over India, plus his disciples or his followers are all over the world. And wherever they are spread out. And Meera teaches yoga 3 times a week free of charge. And this is a small booklet we give, there's some publications. And my dad has written 50 plus books on yoga, Vedas, in English and Hindi. Interpretation of Gitas. So we have you have seen it.
Yes.
So that is the legacy.
Okay.
And all our brothers and sisters, our dad told us, every day spend some time for seva, for public service. So 6 of us are in the USA.
Yes.
I'm in Houston, my brother is in Phoenix, one sister in San Diego, one sister in Cleveland, one in Richmond, Virginia,
Wow.
one in Chicago. And the Chicago sister had bought about 12-acre land in West Chicago.
Okay.
And a very good website, Yoga Sadhana Ashram Chicago. So she had just professional CPA, but she quit her job.
Okay.
They said,
And wrote some social work on
so
this.
she's been doing all that, yeah.
Wow. That is really
So
tremendous.
this is what dad's mission.
So basically, you practice it as well, and as well you preach it for the
Yes.
for the.
Wake up first in the morning, we do our kriyas.
Yeah. Okay. Nadi Kriya Shuddha Kriya.
Yeah.
Those-
Jalneti,
Jalneti.
yeah.
Okay.
So Meera does, I does, and
Okay.
even our grandkids, they can do all kind of poses.
Wow,
See that art we do it.
Okay. That's great. That's great. So anything else you want to add up about your experiences, about living in Houston, about the community that has grown, with a career that Meeraji had, and of course growing up children?
Yeah.
Do you want us?
Okay, for 2 professionals, hers was very demanding job, some traveling, and one day she may go to 3 different cities.
Okay.
In the beginning, she was in large IT group, and they had to be physically there to update all that data or the systems,
Yes.
or train people how to use it.
Okay.
So the kids were young, but my being at the University of Houston, it was a bit relaxed,
Okay.
because you can manage from home, or you're at a certain higher level, you don't have that much interaction every day
Okay.
with the students.
Okay.
But you
So you were able to manage.
manage,
it.
I mostly schedule meetings. At my level, it was introduction mostly with assistant teams for technology,
Oh, okay.
because it's some policy decisions, the budget decisions,
Okay.
then how to give the contracts get it implemented,
Okay. Okay.
technology teams. And
UFH becoming now tier 1 university.
it's a tier 1 research university, it is not still tier 1 for education. It's not on the top 100 universities yet.
Okay.
It will be soon.
Will be soon there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you thinking about the future generations up over here, growing up over here? What kind of message would you like to give from your end, specifically as an immigrant
Okay,
who has 40 plus years?
I have a couple of points.
Yeah.
I stress to the young kids, I tell my grandkids also, develop personal and professional equity.
Okay.
That it means equity means you have to get a good education, get your equity.
Yeah.
Don't get restricted.
Yeah.
And profession, whatever your profession is, try to be the best. Because because both of our sons, they went to the top schools in the country. Both are Harvard graduate, Yale, NYU,
Wow.
London School of Economics, Rice, and both were teenagers of Houston. They got the ICC Year of the Student Award.
Okay.
And plus, younger one was judged as the best high school student when he was graduating. So he went to New York, got a big award.
Okay.
No, he went to San Francisco.
San Francisco.
The younger one went to met with Bill Clinton, got recognized in the White House. So, but it is a value equity,
Professional equity.
professional and personal equity.
Personal.
Because personal equity means ethics, moral values, what the scriptures say that to learn see from home.
Exactly.
So second thing I want to tell, make a difference in other people's life. Do some service for the community.
Seva.
Seva. Don't do everything for yourself, me. But do something for others. Because both were Eagle Scouts. Eagle Scouts motto is that service. All service projects they do get the rank of Eagle.
Yeah.
And Eagle takes lots of time to be an Eagle Scout. And I spend lots of my weekends with them, the summer camps and the national camps. So, third one say, brand yourself. Brand mean, okay, somebody says, it's open the event. Okay, what image comes first open in the picture? If you see, okay, Umesh, how they brand me?
Okay.
Our Foundation for India Studies.
What do you typecast?
Must have a positive image about yourself, other people. And the fourth one I should add here, add a value whatever you do in your life. Add a value for your employer, what value you are adding, not just doing the job.
Yeah.
Add a value for your kids.
Yeah.
Be available for them all the time, they count on you.
Yeah.
Add a value for your community.
Yes.
Serve in ICC, India House, say whatever you like.
Yeah. Whatever your passion is.
Passion at the temple.
Yeah, or the temple, religious organization.
Add a value. The fourth one is leave a legacy. If I'm gone tomorrow, that we do interviews today, it's a legacy. Foundation for India Studies.
Exactly.
So try to leave a legacy in whatever you do, how the people. Fourth one is develop a strategy. I'm sorry. Last one, seventh one.
Yeah.
Develop a strategy. Whatever you do, you need to have a game plan.
Yeah.
1, 2, sometimes the number one does not work.
Yes.
Have a 2. Say, if I fail in the exam,
Back up.
my business is not successful, if I don't get a job,
Yeah.
but don't give up. Have a strategy
Yeah.
to stay upbeat.
Yeah. Very good. Anything else? I know for sure about your grandkids. They love you and they are the ones always with you, Meshi. And for the next generation, kind of for this young kids as a motivator, what final word would you like to say? The small kids which are there, who you mentor as well.
Yeah.
Just do it.
No. Small kids, just love your parents, listen to your parents,
Okay.
and they are your role models. You see them, what they're doing, they are successful in life. So, do your studies.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Umeshji, for coming over here this afternoon and spending your time with us for the Foundation for India Studies. This interview will be going down in the Annals of History for the Oral History Project. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Umeshji, Hindu Worship Society at some point of time did start the Janmashtami festival, which has now become a community-wide celebration in town at George Brown. We hold it every August and we have 10,000 plus people coming up. You had some legacy or some history about that. Can you just share it with our viewers?
Okay, the first large initiative by the Indian community have a joint festival in Houston at Janmashtami. And we part of the steering committee. It was celebrated on August 11th, 1990.
Okay.
And that time I designed this logo, got it printed, not got it made, it is magnetic,
Okay.
and you will see it in old Houstonians' homes
On the refrigerator.
on the refrigerator.
Wow.
So,
So at that time, PC Sharma ji, Sahel Saab, they were
yeah,
all
they were
involved
there.
in
They were
this
involved. They were,
celebrations.
because we used to celebrate Janmashtami at the old Gandhi Center.
Gandhi Center. That's
It was a big hall, yeah, but it's no longer there.
Ellen Road.
Then the group was larger.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.